Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm Hoi Pinoy's co-PC, as in co-performance coordinator. I'm a CS major, I'm a second year.
Hi, my name is Tiana. I am one of the co-performance coordinators in Pinoy, and my major is biochemistry.
I'm Liam. I'm Pinoy's first ever cultural director. I'm from Quincy, and I'm a senior studying communications, professional media writing, and Asian American studies.
My name is Lena. I am Pinoy's PR, and my major is psychology.
My name is Zechariah Haraji. I am a cultural director shadow, and I am Cambodian Filipino descent, and I'm studying biology.
Hi, I'm Kayla Del Castillo Garcia. I'm Hoi Pinoy's event coordinator. I'm currently in third year, and I'm studying business management and leadership.
Pinoy pride is just being proud of who you are, because no matter if you're full Filipino, mixed Filipino, I think the fact that you're able to claim that identity and be like, yes, I'm Filipino, is Pinoy pride to me. Because I think there's so many things that could make up like a Filipino. Because if I go back to being a dancer, or like artistic things, let's say like singing and stuff like that, I think it's something. The stereotype for being a Filipino is like, oh, they sing, they dance, they're very artistic, or like they play basketball or whatever it is. But I think that instead of seeing it in like oh, it's a stereotype, so it's like, why should I follow it? It's more of like embracing it. I think like honestly, exactly, like embracing that stereotype. Like my Pinoyness is like so it's all in that, because it's like I just love dancing, and I think it's just so awesome because you're just able to express yourself. And like, you know, I think also like dancing to songs that are by Filipino artists, or like cultural songs, like traditional songs, I think it helps me embrace more of being Filipino, because it's like, oh my god, they're Filipino. This artist is Filipino. I can dance their songs. Like, that's so cool. Like, they're expressing themselves and I'm expressing themselves, and it's like together. That's beautiful.
My favorite part about the Filipino culture is not just, you know, the basics like the food and the music, but it's also how welcoming everyone has been. Some of my first friends in UMass Boston were Filipino, and they were just like the closest people, my closest friends I've ever had. And now they're all my roommates, and I love spending every day with them. Their families are so welcoming and so loving, and I love them.
Like, I'm not 100% Filipino, so, but I still feel as included as if I was. I think the best part about it is that it doesn't really matter like how much Filipino you are, like you will always be considered Filipino in a good way. Like things that I've learned throughout here in college, this is the time where I've connected closer to my roots, or closer to like my Filipino side. Like big few words I would learn was bayanihan and kapwa, which is like togetherness, or like the thing about like being a good like next door neighbor, or you know, like the big hospitality stuff, and being able to like have food, share things, you know, like kamayan or doodle fight, you know, just being able to share those, I'd say, those ideals. I wouldn't say ideals, but like those aspects of like Filipino culture. That's what really matters about like Pinoy pride, to me at least. And I think overall, just being able to like respect the culture, respect the old traditions, being able to respect just like every aspect. It's really cool to see that like the Filipino American diaspora is able to reinvent things, reconstruct like old ideas into something new. Jollibee, or like new ways of technically, I'm half Filipino. I really think that like strikes something within me, because like growing up I would just tell people like, oh, I'm Cambodian, but like I would tell people later on, they're like, oh, did you know I'm like half Filipino? And they'd be like, oh, I thought you were like fully Cambodian. But it's like, I feel like I wasn't really impacted by my Filipino side as much growing up, although I wish I was. I think the part I'm most proud about of being Pinoy, community / food. I don't know, just having the idea to be like, oh, that guy's Filipino, and be like, wait, that's actually sick, like it's heck. And the food part is like, there's always good food. It's kind of funny. But it's weird because my last name is Haraji, but that's a Muslim last name rather than like the standard like colonized Spanish last name or like an original like Filipino last name. I've yet to meet someone that also has a Muslim last name, but I still think that like that's what I'm so proud about, because the uniqueness between like every Filipino person like in the world will always have like either like the same name, different name, but like you could represent it and like be proud of it in however like way you want.
So I guess there's the obvious like tangible stuff, like I like our food, I like our music, I like our clothes, those kind of things. You know, that goes without saying, but I think if there's something like that is truly the most like I find the most cool about being Filipino or being in Filipino spaces is just how like communal and welcoming we are, and how like we're rooted in like scratching each other's backs, helping each other out. And granted, like, you know, that has backfired on us historically. People have taken advantage of that. There's certain like stereotypes that come out of that, but I think like that sort of the troubles that we've struggled in regards to our communal values are never because our hearts are in the wrong place or like we have malice in our hearts. That's never been the case, and I think like even if people see it as kind of like unrealistic or obsolete, like I think that's like an ideal world for me, where people just the general like norm is to help each other out, and I think that's something that's been lost in various parts of the world, where we just kind of forget to treat each other well and to look out for each other. There's such like an individualistic, selfish aspect, especially like here in America, where it's like kind of an every man for itself kind of deal, but like why should it be? You know, like we're all in this together, and ultimately if we don't, you know, work together, we don't collaborate with each other, we don't help each other out, like there's not much progress that can be made. And I think that's a real testament to a lot of things we see today, especially like just the feelings I've had in Filipino spaces, how loving and how community centered it is, and how much everyone's looking out for each other. It just makes me wonder, like, why can't everywhere be like this?
Beauty and standards for it are very different for everybody. I think my beauty standards are very different from what America's beauty standards are, which are very different from Filipinos' standards of beauty. And like, for instance, I consider darker skin and tanner skin to be really beautiful, but I know that my mom, who grew up in Asia and the Philippines, she always thinks that lighter skin is more beautiful, and she's always telling me to not tan and to wear sunscreen, and oh, you're so tan, and I'm like, but I love it. So yeah, it's very interesting to me. I feel like beauty is very subjective. It grows with you, and it's based off of your environment, who you're around, how you were raised. And yeah, I think there's beauty in everybody. Filipino-American resistance as a whole, and as like nationwide international community, I feel like Filipino-Americans through the generations have become really purposeful and intentional about learning about their culture and connecting with their heritage and ancestry, and that makes me really proud, honestly. Another thing that I'm really proud of within my Pinoy community is just how nice and how kind everybody is. Like, I was really apprehensive to join the Filipino community around UMass Boston and Hoi Pinoy specifically. I think, I don't really know why, but I think a major part of it was that I didn't fully consider myself to be Filipino American enough. I was like, I'm born here, I'm half white, like, I don't speak the language, like, I don't really know that much about Filipino culture. I mean, now I do, obviously, but as a little freshman, I was like, nah, they don't want me, they wouldn't want me. But the more people that I met and the more people I interacted with, I was like, you guys are the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
I feel like Pinoy pride to me specifically is like not being shameful about my Pinoyness and like being proud to celebrate it. I feel like growing up I had a lot of like negative connotations around like being Filipino or like even thinking back to like the motherland, but like I feel like learning about it more and just being able to like show it off and be proud of it, so not being ashamed of it, like trying to break off that negative stigma we have that a lot of like Filipinos have, especially where we come from is beautiful, like, and we're beautiful, like we don't need to conform to like Western or colonial like standards. What makes me beautiful, I think, is like, as I said before, how I define beauty is just what makes one true to themselves. So I feel like all the aspects of me that makes me true to myself, like being proud of being Filipino, being raised in Guam, like how I express myself, my features I got from my mom and my